The Young and the Restless spoilers. Full Tuesday update. Full the 7th of July, 2026. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is a crazy, wild Tuesday in the soap world. And if you are anything like me, you are probably still screaming at your television screen right now. Grab a snack and a very large drink because we have so much drama to unpack today. Let's get right into it. I cannot believe they did that. I mean, seriously? I am literally sitting here typing furiously in the middle of the night because I am so worked up over this entire mess. You all know I have been watching since 2015, and this is honestly one of the most insane, frustrating, and yet totally captivating things they have ever done on this show. I am physically shaking, and I know some people are loving this twist, but personally, my blood is boiling. How on earth are we back here again with this absolute psychopath running the show and ruining lives? You know exactly who I am talking about, because Jack Abbott was just stabbed. Jack Abbott, the patriarch of the Abbott family, the man who has survived literal decades of Victor Newman's torture, is now bleeding out on the floor because of Patty Williams. I am sorry, but am I the only one who is just exhausted by Patty's reign of terror? The paramedics rushing in, the flashing lights, the sheer panic in the room. It was a lot to take in. I was screaming at my screen, "Somebody do something! Put pressure on the wound!" They are loading him onto the stretcher, and he looks so pale, you guys. The way they filmed that scene, focusing on the blood on the carpet and the absolute chaos of the moment, it really felt like this could be the end of an era. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take a breath. Okay, back to the point. Jack is rushed to Memorial Hospital, and he is immediately thrown into emergency surgery. The tension in that waiting room is thick enough to cut with a knife. The doctors are running around, the monitors are beeping, and Jack's life is literally hanging by a thread. Will he survive? I mean, it's Jack Abbott. They can't kill him off, right? But the show is making it look so incredibly grim. I am terrified that he is going to end up in a coma or have some kind of amnesia. And then we see Tracy. Oh my God, Beth Maitland deserves an Emmy for this episode alone. Tracy sitting there by his side in the hospital, or at least as close as the doctors will let her get, completely heartbroken, tears streaming down her face. It just broke me. Tracy has always been the moral compass of this family, the one who holds everyone together when things fall apart. Seeing her so devastated, making those awful phone calls to the rest of the family, it was gut-wrenching. She has already lost so much in her life, and now she has to sit there wondering if her beloved brother is going to make it out of that operating room alive. But you know what? Thank God for Ashley Abbott. Tracy calls her, and Ashley is immediately hopping on a plane from Paris to get back to Genoa City. Yes, we need Ashley right now more than ever. I always say that the Abbotts are at their best when they are united against a common enemy. Remember when they tried this kind of fractured family storyline a few years ago? Yeah, didn't work then either. We need the Abbott siblings standing strong together. Ashley is not going to take any nonsense from anyone, especially not Patty Williams or the incompetent police department. I am so here for her return. I just know she is going to march into that hospital, drop her designer bags, and start demanding answers and firing doctors if she has to. And then there's Kyle. Kyle Abbott is officially taking control. And honestly, it is about time. With Jack incapacitated and Diane caught up in this absolute nightmare, someone has to steer the ship at Jabot and keep the family from completely imploding. Kyle has been through the ringer lately, especially with all the Diane drama and the corporate backstabbing, but seeing him step up and take the reins gives me a little bit of hope. He is fiercely protective of his parents, even when they are driving him crazy. I just hope he doesn't do something reckless, because you know, Kyle, when he gets emotional, he tends to act first and think later. But right now, the Abbotts desperately need a leader, and he is stepping into those very large shoes. Now, let's talk about the absolute most infuriating part of this episode. Patty Williams turning the tables on Diane Jenkins. I am livid. So, after all the kidnapping, the blackmail, the fake padded cell, the corrupt doctor, Markham nonsense, Patty somehow manages to frame Diane for stabbing Jack. I mean, the absolute audacity of this woman. Um, she literally sliced her own arms to make it look like Diane attacked her. That is some next level, unhinged, classic soap villain behavior. I kind of respect the commitment to the crazy, but I am also so incredibly mad for Diane. Diane is standing there, probably traumatized from being held hostage in a barred room for weeks, and now she is being accused of attempted murder. She is screaming at Detective Burrow. She tried to kill Jack twice, and she is right. Patty has a history of this. She poisoned Summer Newman. She has terrorized this town for years. She literally blackmailed Jack for sex using Diane's life as leverage. How is anyone believing a single word that comes out of Patty's mouth? It makes absolutely no sense. But of course, the Genoa City Police Department is basically useless, as always. Detective Burrow is standing there looking completely clueless. Patty is putting on the performance of a lifetime, playing the victim, showing off her self-inflicted wounds, and crying crocodile tears. And Burrow actually stops Diane from going to the hospital to be with her dying husband. He tells her she can't leave because he needs answers. Are you kidding me? Your prime suspect is the woman who has a literal rap sheet a mile long and a history of severe psychiatric breaks. But sure, let's detain the wife who just escaped a hostage situation. I was throwing things at my TV. Will he actually arrest Diane? If he does, I am going to riot. I know some of you guys hate Diane and think she deserves whatever she gets, but personally, I think she has suffered enough lately. Okay, let me pivot for a second because my blood pressure can't take much more of the Abbott drama right now. Let's talk about the Shadow Room. Noah Newman's grand opening is happening, and honestly, the vibes are so weird. Audra Childs is there, and she is getting awfully close to Noah. Now, we all know Audra is a ruthless corporate climber, but she actually seemed genuine here. She knows about Noah's grandmother, Nikki, and how sick she is, and she steps in to comfort him. She tells him that if he needs a friend, she is there. And Noah says, I know who I can count on. And then she holds his hand. Wait, hold up. Are we really going back to Audra and Noah? I have such mixed feelings about this. On one hand, their history is so dark and tragic, especially with the miscarriage they went through years ago. Audra was just crying to Sally about it the other day. So there is definitely a deep, unresolved emotional bond there. On the other hand, Audra is usually looking out for number one. Is she manipulating him, or is she actually seeking comfort because being in that replica of the Vegas Club is triggering her trauma? I kind of think it's the latter. I think she is spiraling internally and clinging to Noah because he represents a time before everything got so complicated. But of course, they aren't alone. Sienna Bacall is watching them from the bar, and let me tell you, if looks could kill, Audra would be dead on the floor. Sienna is seething, and this is where I get genuinely terrified, because Sienna is a literal psychopath. Remember what she did to Phyllis? She ambushed her in the dark and beat her down. Remember how she supplied Nick with the fentanyl that caused his horrific car crash? Sienna is violently loyal, extreme, and completely unpredictable. If she decides that Audra is a threat to whatever twisted fantasy she has in her head regarding Noah or the Newmans, Audra is in serious danger. I am dreading what Sienna might do next, but I am also totally glued to the screen. And Noah has every right to be a wreck right now because of what is happening with Nikki. My heart breaks for Nikki Newman. Uh, she is struggling so hard with this uh, condition, these blinding headaches that make her think she is dying. But the absolute worst part is that we, the viewers, know the truth. Victor Newman is playing the doting husband while secretly liquidating her assets. He drugged her and tricked her into signing away her Newman Enterprises shares. I can't even fathom the level of evil it takes to do that to your own wife. Victor has always been ruthless, but this is a new low, even for the mustache. Victoria is already getting suspicious, and I am just praying she figures it out before Victor completely drains Nikki's estate. How is Nikki going to react when she wakes up from this drug-induced haze and realizes the man she loved has robbed her blind while she thought she was on her deathbed? The fallout from this is going to be apocalyptic. And honestly, Victor deserves everything coming to him. It makes me sick to watch him hover over her bed, pretending to care while his lawyers are tearing apart her legacy. Finally, let's touch on the Jill and Billy situation. Jill Abbott is apparently trying to smooth things over with Billy. Yeah, good luck with that, Jill. After everything that just happened with Sally, Billy is drowning in regret right now. He and Jill pushed Sally so hard, questioning the paternity of her baby, that she fled in a blinding rainstorm, crashed her car, and lost the baby. It is a devastating tragedy, and Billy has to live with the fact that his lack of trust caused it. Jill, trying to swoop in and fix things with a quick chat, is just so typical of her. She never understands the emotional weight of the damage she causes. Billy is broken, and I don't think a simple apology from his mother is going to fix this. I mean, how do you come back from that? Billy thought he was protecting himself, but he ended up destroying the woman he loves and losing his child. And Jill, with her constant meddling and judgment, was the catalyst for the whole explosion. I am so angry at both of them, but mostly Jill because she just cannot let her son be happy. She always has to find a flaw, always has to poke holes in his relationships. And now Sally is lying in a hospital bed, grieving another lost child, all because Jill couldn't keep her opinions to herself. It is heartbreaking. So, where do we go from here? My prediction, Jack is going to be in a coma for a while, leaving Diane completely at the mercy of Patty's lies and Detective Burrows' incompetence. Kyle and Ashley are going to have to team up to clear Diane's name, maybe with Tracy digging into Patty's past to prove she is framing her. Meanwhile, Sienna is absolutely going to sabotage Audra, and Victor is going to get caught by Victoria, leading to a massive Newman civil war. I am so stressed out, but I also can't wait for tomorrow's episode. What do you guys think? Am I totally off base here? Let me know, because I desperately need to vent with people who understand this madness.